All right, we're going to get started. So, welcome everybody to this live installment. Sharita, hello, sweetness. Welcome as you're joining my friends. I'm going to have a little conversation with you, and I'm pretty raw and vulnerable today, so I may not always show it, but I might cry. But I just got off probably one of the most potent calls I've ever had the privilege of being a part of. I was facilitating. We did something called Feel Your Future, and it's a 6-month course. And we're now in a second round of it, and we're in month 2. And last time we did it, we now are doing like monthly just check-ins and getting together, and we had this really, really, really powerful conversation. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what came out of the conversation and something that I've been looking at for a long time. So, hi, all you beautiful people, if you're joining, I'm so grateful you're here. So, the topic that I want to talk about is really your subconscious mind. And we're doing a book club on Think and Grow Rich. Tomorrow is call number 2. So you're welcome to join us if you feel called to be a part of it. And so one of the things is this idea that we all have these ideas that we desire, and the life we want to be living, and the picturesque ideal of what we want to create. And so that is like our conscious mind going, I want a better life. I want more joy. I want more freedom. I want more money. I want better communication. I want like relationships that expand my world. And so we're always asking for greater, and that's the conscious mind. And yet underneath the conscious mind is the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is the one that actually is responsible for us being able to act. So let's say you're like, I want more money, but your subconscious mind is living in poverty, or it remembers losing all your money, or it remembers losing your relationship because of money, or it remembers. So the subconscious mind is the one that's really responsible for action. And so we can go around and ask for the consciousness, the gift, the magic, the beauty, the miracles. And yes, they do show up. And sometimes what's hiding, as I'll say, underneath the surface is the things that are embedded in our subconscious. And so we just got off this call where all of us on this call were exploring some pretty hidden things. And the root of all of those things was shame, right? And so what I said is shame, and you feeling ashamed of your pattern, or ashamed of your choices, or ashamed of your situation, you feeling shame is what keeps it in place. Aha. So yeah. And so when we experience shame and then we don't let that shame out, so we keep that shame hidden, because I mean that's the point of shame. The point of shame is to control you out of freedom. The point of shame is to control you out of choice, right? And so I was looking at my own life, and um where I have a shame point in relationship, because almost all of my relationships that I've ever chosen, I dated addicts. Now, that is not a wrongness to anyone that I have been with. That is to say that I have a shame point that my addiction is to be addicted to someone who is dealing with an addiction, right? And I've had a lot of shame in that. And so lately, what I've been looking at is if I just look at the energy of something, right? And instead of putting a story onto what I'm aware of, I can just label it as true. Does that make sense, you guys? So you're like, okay, my awareness is I'm struggling with money. I'm just giving an example, right? Doesn't have to be true for you. I'm just saying, like, or you could say, my awareness is I don't necessarily pick the greatest people to be in relationship with, or the people I do pick to be in relationship with aren't necessarily ready or willing to have the hard conversations, or aren't necessarily interested in growing, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. It's just that you want to label your awareness. So the awareness would be, wow, the people I'm choosing in relationship aren't really a match for what I say I want. That's an awareness. Now, I could put a story on top of that awareness, which then jades the awareness. But if I just look at that awareness and I go, wow, that's an interesting choice, I wonder what's underneath it. Right. And so we've got the conscious mind that's like, I want the magic. I want the joy. I want the sexy body. I want the travel around the world. I want the successful business. Right. We've got this shiny thing that we desire, that we want, that we can taste, that we can feel, that we know that it's possible for us to have. And then we've got the subconscious, which is like, oh, I'm gonna control your actions, and I'm gonna limit, because you say you want that, but oh, there's this deep dark shame, or this deep dark secret, or this deep dark thing that's hiding underneath. And this is what I want to say to you guys. What if it's not wrong? What if it's not your fault? What if it's not your fault that you were abused? What if it's not your fault that you went through a divorce? What if it's not your fault that you chose the wrong people to date? What if it's not your fault that you didn't get your business off to a successful place? What if it's not your fault, right, that you're having a hard time parenting? Like, what if now it might be a choice, but it's not your fault? And so anything that is occurring right now that isn't working for you, the action of it, the root of choosing is living in your subconscious. And if it's in your subconscious is the one that's going to take action. So is this resonating with you guys? If it is, can you type yes in the chat? Right? Or give me a thumbs up or heart or something, so I know that we're following the conversation, and that this conversation is something that can contribute to you. And so there is this piece and this place inside of all of us where we probably have a secret, a shame, maybe an addiction, right? Oh, thank you, sweetness. Maybe you're ashamed that you had to file for bankruptcy. Maybe you're ashamed that the business you tried to build it failed. Maybe you're ashamed that you were abused as a kid. Maybe you're ashamed that you've dealt with some sexual traumas in your adulthood, right? Oh, hi, sweetness. Thank you so much. And so, what I want to say to you is that the shame that's living in your subconscious, it's not your fault, but it is a choice to continue to hang on to it. And so what you can do is, I'm doing this class next week called Underneath the Surface. And we are cool. Renee says, yes, yes, yeah, ma'am. Is what we're doing is what would it be like to just label your awareness and go, oh, this is my awareness. My awareness is I'm afraid to lose. My awareness is I don't like failure. My awareness is I'm hiding. My awareness is I'm addicted to blank. My awareness is I'm judging my body, right? And we just have this simple awareness. So we're not attaching a story or our story or a pain point onto the awareness. We're just labeling the awareness, because when you just label awareness, then you can go, oh, what's underneath it, right? What's underneath that? Whether it's shame or secrecy or hiding or judgment or pain, right? A lot of times we're in a rush. Cool. I love that. Shweta. And I think she says that feels so light when you say it's not your fault. No, it's not your fault, but it is your choice to keep it in place. So it's not your fault. Like I was just talking to someone who dealt with some pretty traumatic abuse. And I just said, what if the abuse isn't your fault? Right? But it is a choice to keep it hidden. It is a choice to keep it a secret. It is a choice to keep it in shame. So it's not your fault, but you can choose to change it. Yes. Woo-wee. Cool. So Renee says, I ran the shame distractor yesterday. It kept looping me back to past trauma. Wow. All of that. Yes. Yes. I can't wait for that class. So next week, Monday, I'm starting a class called Underneath the Surface. And for 20 years, I've been facilitating bodies and energy. And one of the things that I love to do is people will come in with their awareness and then the story that they put on top of their awareness. And it's my job, at least this is the way I look at it, is what if I just remove the story and I go into what's underneath the story? What's underneath the awareness? What's underneath? Where is it hiding in the body? What's underneath? And each of you is aware of the energy of somebody's body. Each of you is aware of the energy of your own body. But here's what I'll say. If you have shame, it clouds what you're aware of. If you have secrets, it clouds what you're aware of. If you're lying to yourself, it clouds what you're aware of. And so the beauty of Underneath the Surface is, what if you take the story out of it, the lies out of it, the shame out of it, the hiding under it, out of it, and you just go, wow, this is what's true right now. What's underneath that? What's the truth? What's the lie? What's the gift? What's the facilitation? What's the choice? Yeah. And so each of you has a story that you've been keeping hidden, right? And what if it's not your fault? And what if it's not wrong? And what if it's also not right, but it just is? Is it time to change it? And so 95, 96, 97, 98% of all of our actions are really rooted in that secret, hidden subconscious. And so what if you could access your subconscious mind, not from story, not from need, not from proving, not from changing, not from hiding, but you could literally just access your subconscious mind and begin to change it. Begin to allow it to blossom and grow. Begin to allow it to unravel. And so what I want to invite you to do is, what if shame wasn't wrong? What if we all have things that we're like, oh, but that's not the polite person. That's not the perfect person. Ooh, that's the angry person, right? So my addiction to, being in relationship with addicts has been that I get to be right, that I get to be superior, that I get to be the helper that comes in and saves the day, but I also get to be angry about their choices rather than, ooh, baby, ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. Look at my own choices, right? And it's not something that's fun or easy to admit, right? Because I could easily say, well, I've been facilitating classes in consciousness and being an energy worker and doing all this amazing work for so long. And there's this secret. Well, guess what I know? And this is what I've discovered. And I had the help of a really good friend recently, really like have this amazing, beautiful conversation with me and said, as long as you're keeping what you're choosing a secret, the pattern can't change. And I'm going to say that again. As long as you're keeping what you're choosing a secret, the pattern can't change. So underneath the story, underneath the lies, underneath the conclusions or the justifications is the true energy. And that true energy, my friends, it's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's about being free. And so I wonder if you let go of the shame, if you started to really open up and allow the magic in, allow the fact that you don't have to be ashamed of what's happened in your life. You don't have to be ashamed of what you've chosen. It's not your fault. But now that you know it, it is your choice. And so, what do you want to choose? Yeah, Shrita says, wow. And if this conversation is speaking to you, I highly invite you guys to join my 5-day class next week. It's under $100, and we're going to explore what you know about energy, what you know about reading energy. So whether you do it with your eyes, with colors, with your senses, with smell, with just touch or taste, we all experience our own awareness and our own gut intuition. We all have the experience of experiencing it differently. And it's not about figuring out how to do it my way. It's about discovering what's your way in reading energy, perceiving energy, and ultimately being able to shift and change the things you thought you couldn't change. Bam. So, my friends, that subconscious, the seat of action, you can ask for all the gifts and the magic and the consciousness and the beauty, and they will show up. Oh, yes. But along the way, you'll also get facilitated for all the subconscious stuff that's hidden underneath the surface. And so if you truly want the life of your dreams, I believe, this is my personal opinion, I believe that addressing what's hidden, addressing what you're hiding, addressing what you're ashamed of, addressing what you're lying to yourself. Is there country pricing? Yes, there's always country pricing in these classes. So you just have to choose it and enter your country pricing code, and away you go. So I kind of actually can't believe that we're doing it for as reasonable as we are. It probably should be like a $500 class given the topic and the content and the information. But I wanted everybody to have access to this and to see what's actually possible. So if you'd like to join us in this adventure, you're invited. No matter what you choose, I invite you to start to look at what you're aware of. Take the story or the conclusion or the shame or the hiding off the awareness and just start to be curious about what's underneath it. What do you know? Susan, yeah, the link. So I'm terrible at my own stuff. My gift is in facilitating. My gift isn't always in the back end. So you can go to katherinemcintosh.com/live. And I believe that it's there. If not, it might be, I think the URL is Katherine McIntosh, and you can see all the live classes that we have coming up, including doing a live class in Mexico that will also be live streaming. So I think the URL for that one in specific is katherinemcintosh.com/underneath, I believe. Right? Yes, it is. But you can find all the upcoming classes and all the stuff that we're navigating and doing under katherinemcintosh.com/live. So, my friends, if this inspired you, if this spoke to you, please share it with a friend, share it in a group. Feel free to tag somebody that you think might need to hear this. If this conversation contributed to you, please feel free. I feel like this class is calling me awesome, Susan. Well, I look forward to seeing you on the inside. But if you guys would like to leave a comment, share an aha, share this with somebody you know, please feel free. The more the merrier, because consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. So my magical friends, I adore you so much. You are such a gift in my world. And thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day. And Yeah, I probably am gonna post another video I did this morning in a pretty raw and vulnerable state, sort of talking a little bit more about this and really getting underneath the surface because most change happens by acknowledging an energy, not necessarily by talking about it, right? And so it's all about discovering what you know about energy, what you know about perceiving, and how you can use it to change not just your world, but the world around you. And when you change your world, you change the world. When you change your life, you change the world. When you change something that's stuck in you change the world. So, my friends, change starts with you and only you. And you know what? Sometimes we probably wish that we could do the work for others, but the truth is we can only do our own work and watch what that creates in the world. So thank you for being here. I truly do adore you. We will see you whenever we see you. And thanks for joining live. Until next time, stay amazing, stay awesome, never stop choosing, and it's not your fault. Adore you all. Bye for now.